So I want to make a quick dummy, part of a dummy. So in my user folder in vehicles, I have a folder for my new mod, dummy test number 2. And in there we need this info file and this JBeam file. The JBeam file is used already for the other dummy. So it'd be easier to just open it up and remove all the things that are from the other dummy. So that we got pretty much for the most part, an empty JBeam. Damn, there's a lot of stuff. That's just the head. So beams, triangles, and nodes make up the. Oh, that is dummy test 2. I guess I gotta make it 3. I don't know what the first one was. So I saved that. This would be the name of the mod, dummy test 3. Now we got to get a model put in there. So before you get too far ahead of yourself, make sure you got your scale right, because then it's more work if you don't, and you got to go back and change everything. So looking here at the model, this feller here, you see these big white boxes. Those will be what control the J beams for those individual parts. Oh, I'm glad I seen that. Not sure how that did not get assigned. You know what? Let me do it this way. This is kind of confusing. So we got the head. And we got the head's J-beam. No. We got the head, and then the head's J-beam. And then we got this no skin and no skin J-beam. I can make that a different color. Make it a little easier to tell the thing apart. So that'd be no skin. And then the head. Make that a fleshy color. Alright. We'll put all these together. You know what? You probably need to change the scale of this so you can see better. So those are the J-beams. Each one needs to have a unique prefix. So here in this thing here, the data settings, each node prefix is unique, has its own letter. That's how you have multiple things all as the same thing. They don't got the same numbers. They got a letter and a number. So we got the no skin and the head J-beams here. So no skin, I'm put N. The head, I put a H. Torso, a T. The right arm, an RA. And the left arm, an LA. Make sure right arm is the right one. Right arm, right arm. Left arm, left arm. Now make sure that one little parts behind was that I saw a minute ago. Yeah. All that needs to be the same thing. All right, so that's that. What's that? Looks like the bottom of the head. Yeah. How's that? That shouldn't be part of that. Not sure how I'm messing this up. Somehow I'm screwing it up, ain't I? So that's supposed to be the torso. Why? I don't know. I have got no damn idea. I'll just show you how it's supposed to be. I don't know how it got to the state it's in. I might have not named everything. Probably what it is. Head, torso, left arm, right arm, and then the no skin head that's under that head. So that's that. All three of these, all six of these, the DAEs, what you see, these need to have apply all. Wait a minute. God damn it. Why is the crotch and the head all the same part? Don't know. So head, arms, torso, and underhead. All right. Apply all transforms just to be sure they're all transformed, all transforms, and export those as a DAE as selection only. Put that in a mod folder that you're working on. Let me rename that 3. Well, damn, I done damn got confused which one I damn. Okay, so to the dummy test 2, I need to change the name of it. Alright, so this is where the DAE is going. Selection only. Now we just need to put the J-beams in there. So the J-beams being head J-beam, left arm J-beam, no skin J-beam, J-beam right arm, J-beam torso. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's it. Export J-beam. Oh, got to save the Blender file first. If you save your Blender file, is where it's going to send those exported J-beams. Alright, now you see in here is a folder called J-beam exported. Now we're going to load that dummy test 3. And then we're going to load those exported J-beams also into there. Dragging them all in here. So what are our flex bodies? Our flex bodies are the name of the individual DAEs. Torso, right arm, no skin, left arm, head. Those are our flex bodies that get assigned to a letter, and that letter is the group that knows, it tells it where the damn J-beam goes to. Not to let the letter confuse you with the node prefix, but you can use the same one. I usually do, but this time I didn't. So head, you use caps. You use caps. If you don't use them. It's case sensitive. That one is left arm. If you copy paste, then you won't misspell it. Now these don't got to be lined up in any special way or indented in any special way. So you could have them like that, as long as that don't bug you. That's up to you. It bugs me though. Alright, so the head, we'll just make that H for head. Left arm, LA. Right arm, RA. No skin, N. And torsos, T. So those would be our group letters. So we go down to the nodes and we find our first group, which is A. We change that to H. And we're gonna need the other ones in there too. H, LA, RA. N and T. So going over to here, we got the head J-beam. These are the nodes that go to it. See the little letter H. So we go back. Oh, you know what? It's easier to do it like this. Not like that. God damn it. I don't know why it does that shit sometimes, where it drags the wrong one that you picked to the wrong window. I don't know I don't know why it does that shit. What does that pin mean? Alright, that's how I want it. Just like that. Keeps things in order. I don't know. I guess those little pins up there, I must be clicking them accidentally and telling it to anchor those. It's the only thing I can think I'm doing. But I'm supposed to be able to just drag these damn things. Put them where I want to put them. See, now it's in order. You don't have to be in order. It just makes it easier to keep up with what goes where. So we grab the H's and put them in there. Then we go to the next thing, the nodes for the left arm. We put them in there in a group in the right arm. Then the no skin. And then the torso. And then we get these in here. We just need to put the beams in now. So here where the beams go. These don't have to be separated with a group. You just put one after the other. They could all have different properties as far as beam strength and all that goes. But for now, they all share the same one. And which one is that? The very first one that's on here. So if we wanted to have different properties for the different ones, we would just paste that where we want to paste it before the other ones begin. And then everything following that will use that. That's how you do that. You do the same thing with the node numbers for like the weight and all that shit. You can do the same thing with it. You can have different nodes, have different weights, different properties, different material types. So here's polygons, triangles, collision triangles, I mean. All right, you see how many nodes there were for the head, just the head? Like 20 something, almost 30. Yeah, almost 30. I guess 26 or so. All right, so how much does a head weigh? Well, Agent Y, a couple years ago, shared with me his weights that he would use for a dummy. And I think they look pretty good. I gotta pull it up, find it where it's at. I got it in one of these notes. There they are. So he said 4.5 kilos for the head. Total weight. So you need to get your calculator out. And I said, what, 26 nodes? So if we divide that by 26, 1.7. That can't be right. 0.17. 0.17. 0.17. 0.17 times 26. Yeah. 0.17. So each one needs to be 0.17. Damn, that's light. That's real light. No wonder my dummy's so damn heavy. 0.17. Alright, so go put this also for the arms. Lift lower arm, left hand. Left upper arm, left lower arm, hand. So 4.5 plus 2.5 plus 5. So that's 9.5. I don't know. I got a calculator right here. What am I doing? I'm not good at figuring up shit in my head. I know it's simple, but I'm also making a tutorial and I can't do two things good at once. So if I'm thinking 7.5, is that what I said? I don't know. 7.5. And then we'll divide that by how many nodes? 84 to 108. 84, 94, 104, 94, 104, 1, 2, 3, 4, what, 24? They might all be 24. Yeah, they are all 24 because I duplicated them all for this each one. So 7.5 divided by 24. So 0.31. And that'll also work for the right arm. Now we go to the face. We'll use the same for the skull, or the head rather, for the underskin. That's 1.7. Or 0.17, I mean. And then the torso, 40 kilos. 40 kilos divided by 26. 1.5. Or 24. That's close enough. 1.5. So those are the weights. That's not very light, and the lightest one's very, very light. So you have to go down to your beams and you got to change the spring strength. Because that much spring on that light of a weight, it's just going to collapse on itself. So I'll start with a very low amount, like 10,000. And the damping, I'll just put that at 1. The beam strength is when the beams can break, making the triangles of the mesh also break. And the beam deform is at what amount of pressure will these things bend but stay deformed. If it was FLT max, then it would go back to its original shape, kind of like elastic when you pull it and let it go. The lower that number, the more it's going to be more like taffy, where you pull it and it just keeps on pulling. So we'll just make that an even 50,000. And this applies to all of them. I'm going to take that out. Now we should be able to load it now. It should load right on up. Reference nodes. Okay, so I don't have any reference nodes yet. I'll use the generic ones, the ones that they're like, they'll just always work. But they're not anchored to the object. They're just, well, they're just there. Stationary. They're stationary because fix is going to say true for them. Oh yeah, does the thing collide with itself? Does the arm hit the torso? No, that's false. Will it collide with the ground? True. Node material is flesh. Now I had to add that to the particles.json that you have to move into the user folder to do. At the top here, or here rather, you see I got an entry for flesh. And then down here I got where, say, metal touches people or metal touches flesh. I gotta change that. I think I changed it. I changed it from flesh to people. So we're just going to use people. See, when rock or when metal touches people, it's making right now particle number 99. I'm going to add more to this, but for now it's just making particle 99. When metal touches people, that's the car basically. So in the node material, that needs to also say people and not flesh. I was using flesh, then I changed it. Actually, that's not going to make the right particle. That's going to make a particle of little heads and arms. But that's all right. We'll leave it for now. Friction. All right, that looks all good. Oh yeah. I named those reference nodes to be easy to follow. I just named them what it's asking for. I mean, I'm naming what you know them as: up, down, left. Reference node back, left, and up. If anybody wants to know how to do these damn things, the easiest way to explain it would be to make a box, just a plain box, real quick. Make a mesh cube. Just say that's the head. It's not the head, but just say it's the head. If that was going to be a J-beam and you're going to make reference nodes, then you would go into edit mode. And you see that node right there? That would be the reference node. That one would be left. That one would be back. And that would be up. I could get the reference nodes for the head and make it around where the eyeball is, the reference node, so that when you change to the view, you look out the eyes instead of looking at the dummy like this. Maybe do that later. So for now, let's load our mod. The textures, I forgot to check them. They got to have unique names. Which, RT, yeah, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm not using any of these, so this model is from a set of Corsa. So that's the names it already has for those texture names. So that should be good with that. Let me check the head, what I named that texture. Oh, it's their texture. That's right. I didn't use my own head for that one. All right, small grid. Forgot about the scale. Messed all my icons up. It should make those textures because when I exported the DAE, it copied the materials into the folder. The game will look at the textures that are required from the DAEs, and it'll make sure that they're all in that folder. And if they are, it'll make it. You don't have to fool with it. Oh, the game's already loaded. Let me close it and reload it. Well, let's put it in a zero gravity. Reset it. Kind of looks like Tom Cruise, don't it? I think Tom Cruise is shorter than that, though. See that? How much that's deformed? That's that beam spring. Strength. Or that's the actual spring itself. It could be my shitty J-beam for that arm. My J-beam does not look like that arm. It's kind of like that arm, but it's not. Let me try to make it a little stronger. Well, you know you're going to be coming back a lot. Check stuff like that. Put a little dot. That way you can hit F2 and the thing will go right to it. So we're going to put an extra 0 there and a 1 there. There's no science to that. I just grabbed that number out of the air. Saved it. Now I'm going to hit Control R to reload it. Now it paused. No, it didn't. I thought it locked up on me. That's better. It needs some damping though. I think if you want it to bounce more, you have to give it more, give it even more friction. Let's back up. Let's change this to Earth. Let's see how does it bounce. Well, it already kind of bounces. I guess that's got to do more with the springs. The friction really is just keeps it from like, sliding like a piece of ice. I don't think that makes a difference with the amount of bounce. I can't tell. Looks about the same to me. Yeah, I don't think that makes a difference at all, folks. Not for that. That's got to do with how much spring it's got. How much is it compressing and then expanding. Let's go a little higher. Now, if you go too high, it's going to implode, basically. It's just going to lock up on you. It's going to give you one of those sound effects it makes like that. And it's going to go to pause right away. But that's pretty good. Let's try to give it some damping because it don't have any. Let's start with 10. Alright, let's go. Let's push our luck and do 50. You can't have too much damping if there's not enough spring. Or you can't have too much damping if the weight's not enough, really. The weight has to do with how much damping you can give it. The weight's pretty light, so that 50 might lock us up. It didn't lock us up, but it destroyed the mesh. It destroyed it because it's disappearing. It means it broke it. So either have to give it more beam strength to keep that from happening, or lower the damping. I turned on collision triangles accidentally. I didn't mean to do that. But now that they're on, you see that? It got unstable. So that's too much damping. I have to lower it. That's too much. We'll just stick with 10. Alright, so let's get these pieces together. So one thing we can do is we can load these in the JBeam editor. JBeam editor is like a visualization of the JBeam. There's also a JBeam editor for Blender that Angelo234 has made. It's kind of a little more advanced than what I'm used to using, so I'm used to this simple one here. That one's a little more complex, and I don't quite understand it. I know a little bit. I used it to scale some things bigger or smaller, but I haven't really used it for my sole BeamNG mod making thing yet. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. Dummy test 3. Alright, drag that J-beam into here. And you see basically the J-beam of the thing. So what's going to keep this thing together is going to be more beams. The beams are going to be connected. We'll connect one object to the other. So like here at the shoulder, you can barely see, but there's two nodes there, right on top of one another. We're going to go down to the beams section. And then I'll go down to the very bottom. Or better yet, let's go to the top. Since they're going to use their own values, I'll make a copy of that. Because I do want those to break pretty easily. Now, with our cursor here, we go to beams, we say add single. I always double check, make sure that cursor's there. Beam, add single beam, click there, and then when you connect, that's where it's going to put the beams. If you forget, they're going up to the very top. So that one to that one. You could manually do that too if you wanted to. You don't have to use this program at all if you don't want to. You can turn the triangles off so you can see through it. Just don't forget to put your cursor back. See, this is where the head will connect to the torso, but I need to also connect it a little better than that. So probably connect the shoulder better too. Oh, yeah, the inner head. So I made a box inside of a box, basically. So if I connect these like that all the way around, it should make kind of like a honeycomb kind of uh, honeycomb. You know what I mean? Kind of suspended between the two. That'll keep the uh, that'll keep the inside of the head visible. I mean, only visible when the outside's gone. Because if you don't have it like that, they're gonna just fall right through each other. One will go through the other. I think that's a duplicate. I don't see it, but that should be good enough. That'll keep the inner head and the outer head as one object, or like one object. But if we want to have the face break, then the head, for the head here, the H, the nodes for the head rather, we need to give them different values. Go to the beam section. Why the hell I said that? Go to the beam section, find the nodes for the head, and change the strength. So we'll just put like 1,000. Real easy to break. Then we'll go down here and we'll make sure that everything else does not follow that. I'll just duplicate it. Put that back where it was at. Now we should be able to update it and everything be connected. Damn, arm needs more work, don't it? I should have made the arms separate, the upper arm and lower arm. I mean, I know I should have. I just didn't. I didn't do it this time. Save time. The materials. Turning on anisotropic filtering because it doesn't have it on by default. And making them double-sided. Invert back face normals. We can change the color of that if we want to. Could just make it a fleshy color. Save all materials. Yeah, something got to be done about them beams on them arms. It's deforming like that because that J-beam is nothing like that arm. And you're trying to do one J-beam for that whole part, it's not going to work too well. So if you look at the arm, and you can see how bad that is. It ain't even close here. You know what I mean? It's not even in the ballpark as far as um, matching that. Anyway, I could have made it where I took these things here, for example, and at least put these up closer, but I didn't. So that's why that's like it is. What can you do? Well, you can reinforce it some in here by adding more beams. I guess I can throw them in here and they'll break just like the face, or I can make them stronger. We'll just add them here, putting a cursor there. You see how I'm going across, kind of like crisscross, just adding more supports. I was afraid that was going to happen. I picked that letter T because it's so close to the damn other one, it's hard to see. Then we can connect them this way, kind of crisscross. And you're ever doing this and you realize it doesn't load anymore, when you hit refresh, if it ever just disappears when you hit refresh or give you an error down here, make sure you did not forget to put your cursor, because as I'm connecting all these, if I hadn't have picked it, put the cursor where it's supposed to be, it's going to put all those new nodes or those new beams up there at the top instead of right here where I want them. Let's see, let me add a couple more for the arms. All right, let's try it. Now in slow motion, it's going to distort more just because, well, it doesn't take nearly the amount of force to move something in slow motion. Like you pull it with that amount in slow motion, it's going to break a whole lot easier. Now, for the fun, that head's not on there good, is it? Let me make it a little stronger. Needs to be a little bit stronger than that. This, so that the polys don't break nearly as easy. And I probably need to connect it a little bit better. I should do it. And then for some fun, so you can come down here to here where you see thruster, and this is for throttle. Anytime you pick two nodes, one becomes one end and one becomes the other end. Think of it like a rocket ship, you know. You think of it like that. Like say we're going to use these nodes on that back there. Say we want that to be a thruster, those two. So the first number you pick and the second number you pick depends on where the thrust goes. So think of like a rocket ship or a rocket. You got those little people that's in the cockpit there, and you got your yeah, that's a good looking rocket, ain't it? And then let's show you where the fire is at, right? So the first node will be where that part of the thrust is, and the second node makes where the fire is at. So if you were going to make something in here a thruster, and so you wanted, when you press gas, you wanted it to thrust up, then you'd put a a node at the top up there, say I'm trying to find the one that was right there in the middle. TR12. That would be the first one. And the second one would be down here at the bottom. TR16, if we wanted it to shoot straight up. Like the arms here. Like make this for the brake. You could do something like this. Like you make the arm move somewhat. It won't move a lot because it's got a lot of things connecting it. Let's see, LA, L1, LA, L2. You also got the hydros, which also can make things move or whatnot. So with the hydros here, you got two places for nodes. You can put two different nodes and it'll either pull them apart or push them together. So RAR2 to LAL8. I think that's supposed to be a 1. No, it is an L. It's easy to get these damn things confused. Also, the beam spring, the damping, all that needs to match whatever the normal J-beam's got, because if it doesn't, it's going to explode on you, or worse. So you don't want to go crazy with the amount of springs this uses either, just as much as you wouldn't with the other stuff. Factor. All right, so we connected these two, right? So a factor of 2 would expand twice the distance that it is now. 0.5 would only expand it half the distance. So we'll do 0.5. 0.5. In rate, out rate. The higher the number, the faster it will move in and push out. I'll leave that at 1. Leave the steering wheel lock. I'm not messing with that either. I don't quite understand exactly how it affects things like when you do like this, but it all does stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not sure um, how it affects it. That's where you get to experiment. You get to figure it out. So you can see that hydro is pushing. I can turn the beams on, and it shows in here beam hydros are blue. So you see that's half the distance, either going that way or going that way. If I had put something like 2 in there, it'd push out a hell of a lot more than that. See, it's pushed out so much it started to bend part of the thing. And see, here's what the in rate, out rate does. See, that's at 1. So if I change that, I make it even more than that. Say 10 for the in rate. Put the gravity back to 0. So that's in rate going in, but you see it's going too much. Let's put it back where it needs to be. That's too much. I knew that. I was just trying to show you all. Let's do in rate, out rate of 3. Right? Oh, and don't forget, we got the thruster too. Oh yeah, and I also assigned to the left arm anyway. If I press that, it's spinning it that way. Now, if you want the reference nodes to be so that when he spawns, you are looking out of the eyes, you'd have to reassign them to be the nodes for the head. A lot of people, when they spawn these things, they want to look at the dummy like this. They don't want to look at it from the backside. But a car, you would want to be on the backside, of course. But you could do that same thing with him too. It's kind of a hassle because you always have to keep spinning it around. But I'm going to just make them look at him from a front. So the reference node in this case would be HR25. Actually, let's do, yeah, HR25. And what's in the back? Back would be HR22. No, wait a minute. HR25, HR0. Left, HR16. And up, HR3. And if we are going to use these, we can't have the other ones down here. So we put brackets to say ignore that line. See? That's where it's spawning. I also got the camera distance. How far away do you want it to spawn? Or where do you want it to spawn as far as height? Like minus 0.2 should make it spawn just a little bit lower and farther away. Just like that. It's all that jiggling, man. That's that damping. But we're kind of with his weight, we're kind of limited on the amount of damping we can use. I'm gonna try to give it damping, more hydro damping, and see if that can, and let's change this to be a crazy amount. The thruster, I got that one on the left arm. We'll put it also on the right. Once I find it again. So you got throttle input, you can use brake input, you can use steering input, and you can use clutch input. Those are the ones I know you can use. So I did that. Let's do this side. RAR8 to RAR6. And I notice when we're giving it thrust to move um, up, he's kind of doing like a Superman fly forward kind of thing. If we put just a little bit of thrust in the front that counters that, it may keep it more vertical. So when you press throttle, it'll also activate, say, TR0, or no, TR0, TR1. But not that much thrust. I'll do like 50 or 100 and save it. Yeah, you see what I'm trying to get at, right? If I have it spinning counter to the top, it might help keep it up right better. Keep it going straight up. I don't think it's gonna need that much, but we'll see. Oh, that's pretty good actually. Of course, it's not gonna go perfect. That's too much for them arms, man. Damn. Let's change that to just 100. You know what? Let's make him flip them around. Better yet, if we make it steering input, it'll go both ways. Need another stabilizer for the, uh, yeah, probably need a few stabilizers if you really want it to, you know, behave like Superman. You think you ought to have a cape, like a Superman cape? I might add that later. I ought to do that now, though. I think that'll probably be almost it. I'll do one more thing. Yeah. See, those are for the pedestrians. Hard to damn kill somebody, ain't it? pretty fun. Pretty fun stuff. Alright folks, I think that's it. I'm going to zip this up and share it if y'all want it.